Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to my Robinhood portfolio. With this video, I thought I would talk about high yield ETFs or high yield exchange traded funds. This comes from a viewer request from about 3 weeks ago. I put a video out about high yield penny stocks, and through the discussions, there were a few viewers that asked if there were any high yield ETFs, as they would like to get into a diversified portfolio such as an ETF, but they would like to have a high dividend yield as well. So I thought I would take a look, and I did find quite a few ETFs that did have a high dividend yield, and high dividend yield being 7% or greater. And I thought I would take three to look at in a little bit more detail here. One of them focuses on bonds. One of them focuses on solely stocks, U.S. stocks, and one of them focuses on non-U.S. stocks as well as U.S. stocks. I thought I'd kind of take a look at three different investment strategies, ETFs, all high yield. So the first stock I found was KBWD. This is a Power Shares ETF. If we scroll to the bottom here, if you can kind of see that through my logo here, this is a high dividend yield financial portfolio that's tracking a dividend yield weighted index of U.S. financial firms. And again, this is unfortunately highlighting some of the statistics within Robinhood that are not exactly accurate here. You can see the dividend yield is 0.085%, but the actual dividend yield is 8.44%. So Robinhood has this wrong. This is not 0.085% for the dividend yield. It's 8.44%. And this particular portfolio of stocks, this ETF, is U.S. only stocks. As the name of the ETF says, it's essentially invested in financial services, although there seems to be about a 40% stake in real estate as well. So it's about 55% or so financial services, 40% or so real estate. Then it has some industrials in there as well, 3.5%. And then consumer, cyclical, as well as basic materials as well. Like I said, it's got a great dividend yield, 8.44%. The stock overall, with regards to its underlying securities, trades at a little bit of a premium, 0.04%. But the nice part is that the dividend is all from income. There's no return of capital within the 8.44% it gives as a dividend. So this is a pretty good stock. Over the last 5 years, you can see here, that it's up 51.26%. Quite a bit of volatility, and you'll kind of see from each of these stocks, they kind of trend up in a similar fashion. For the last year here, up 26.14%. So this has been a great stock over the last year. It's got a great dividend yield. It's somewhat diversified as well in U.S. stocks between essentially financial services and real estate. So kind of a cool stock here. The next stock here is YYY. This is ETF from Yield Shares High Income ETF. If you go to the bottom here, you can see this is tracking an index of U.S. listed closed-end funds weighted by yield, discounted to net asset value and trading volume. So kind of a cool ETF here. Again, the dividend yield is not correct. The actual dividend yield is 9.83%. This does trade at a slight premium as well. The underlying securities are a little bit less than the price of the stock, currently trading at $19.04. So it's a 0.05% premium. But again, the good part about this dividend is that there is no return of capital. It's all from income. So it's got a great dividend yield. Over the last year, it's trended up nicely, 16.19%. And over the last 5 years, again, you can kind of see the same curve here, kind of dipping in the early part of 2016. But since that point, it's been trending up very nicely. And over the last 5 years, 41.53%. And I did not mention, but this is a portfolio that is invested in primarily bonds, high-yield bonds, otherwise known as junk bonds. And there's a lot of diversification. I think there's 130 or so stocks or bonds within this particular ETF. And again, the majority of these are financial services. There's a minority in technology, utilities, healthcare, real estate as well. It's a little bit more diversified than that last ETF. And the last one here, Global X Super Dividend ETF here. If we go to the bottom, you can see this is tracking an equal weighted index of 100 global securities with high yields. A lot of these are from China. And again, the statistics page is not correct here. It's showing 0.069%, but the actual dividend yield is 6.73%. This trades at a little bit more of a premium, 0.27%. But again, the nice part is that the dividend is all from income. There's no return of capital. And as you can imagine from the name here, this is 50-50 between U.S. stocks and non-U.S. stocks. And a lot of the non-U.S. stocks are from China. So kind of a cool ETF here as well. Over the last year and 5 years, again, it has that same sort of curve here, kind of trending up, and then in the beginning of January 2016 dipping down a bit before trending back up this past year here, up 12.94% over the last year. Over the last 5 years, up 33.75%. So 3 different ETFs here, 3 high yield ETFs, each in a different segment. SDIV here, incorporating a lot of global stocks, especially from China. YYY here, high yield bonds, and KBWD, all U.S. stocks that have high dividend yields, mostly in the financial services, but also real estate as well. So 3 high yield ETFs here. There's a lot more of these out there. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of some of the different types of ETFs out there with regards to high dividend yield. The highest I found was about 12% or so, and there are a ton that are in the 3 to 5% range. There's a few that are as high as these here, probably 100 or so that I found in the 5 to 10% range or so, and I think these are probably some of the best. The higher dividend yield ones are a little bit more risky, and the lower dividend ones are really not considered high yield ETFs. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a sample of some high dividend yield ETFs here. Again, KBWD, YYY, and SDIV. So kind of with that, I'll end the video here. As always, if you enjoy my videos, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have any good video ideas, let me know. Any good tips or tricks, any thing to research in the investment world, let me know. Always looking for new things to take a look at. So kind of with that, I'll end the video, and we'll see you guys next time.